Cinema Kane coming back at you. This time around, we're going to be talking Star Trek Picard. Star Trek Picard is currently 2 episodes into its 3rd and final season. I have a long history with Star Trek. It goes back to when I was a kid. TNG, The Next Generation, debuted when I was 4 years old. A couple of months before I turned 5, in fact. And I remember watching the original crew movies and TNG and the original series, basically sitting in my dad's lap as a kid. I thoroughly loved Star Trek. I didn't really catch up on Deep Space Nine or Voyager until I was an adult. By that time, I was really to the point where I could appreciate what Star Trek had to offer. And I love the stuff they did in the 90s. I love the stuff they did in the 80s. And I love the classic series. And I love Enterprise. A lot of people didn't like Enterprise when it came on, but I loved Enterprise. And part of the reason I'm starting this out the way that I am is because I wanted to preface what I'm about to say, which is that since 2009, when the J.J. Abrams films started coming out, the Kelvin timeline, Star Trek has felt like it's missing something. And to me, what it's missing is something that Picard has finally started to bring back, and also Strange New Worlds in a big way, which is the character camaraderie, the actual delving into who these people are, like TNG did so well, like the original series did so well, like Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise did so well. The biggest problem I've had with recent Trek, Discovery especially, when Discovery debuted, is it's not felt like pure Trek. It's felt like, oh, we're losing our audience and therefore we've got to change something that has always worked for us in the past. I understand that Star Trek is about, political meaning, political messages, and we all know how I feel about politics and entertainment. However, Star Trek's main goal was to disguise the politics generally. And you can't really disguise politics when you're flat out showing modern day politics being discussed on TV. And that's my issue with current Trek, is they are losing the allegory and just going straight for the jugular with their political messages. I can't say I have absolutely hated everything they've done with New Trek, but I haven't loved it. Picard is my second favorite of recent Trek. Strange New Worlds' first season was absolutely gangbusters. I absolutely love that show. Anson Mount is a great Captain Pike, and that show's got a great cast. So does Picard. For that matter, so does Discovery, but Discovery is just so much with the political hammering, it feels like. To me, feel free to comment below if you've got a different take on it. I'm always open to hear what other people think. But for me, Picard, and a lot of the new Trek for that matter, feel like they're trying to go further with their political messaging, and they're also not trying to make it look like the old Star Trek shows. They want it to look new and flashy and modern, and I kind of have issues with that because it doesn't feel like Star Trek. If the aesthetics aren't correct, it doesn't feel like Star Trek to me. I mean, feel free to design new uniforms and new ships, but now we've got all this like low lighting on the bridge that's meant to make it look more dark and edgy, and I'm like, no, that's not how past Trek shows look. Why do you feel the need to change that? Star Trek used to be lighter than it is now. And that's what I liked about it. When I was a kid, my parents loved watching Star Trek with me. I loved watching Star Trek with them. Now, you've got characters that at random will say, an F-bomb here or something else there, and okay, you're on a paid streaming service now. I get that. But really, you've taken something that was always a family franchise that you could watch with your kids and kind of explain the allegory to them if they didn't understand it. And now you are hammering them over the head with, obscenities occasionally thrown out that were never really all that present in the original version, and you're also adding to that this dark aesthetic, making it less family friendly. And that is part of my problem with recent Trek. Picard is also guilty of this in some aspects. But Picard, to me, because TNG came at such a later date, it's not as big as an offender as Discovery is, or even to a lesser degree, Strange New Worlds. I'm liking what I'm seeing with the new season of Picard, and I'm hoping they keep going down this route. And so far, so good. Let's see what the rest of the season brings, and hopefully we'll get an iconic bridge shot of all of the original TNG crew together. That would be great. So, I'm your host, Cinema Kane. I hope you enjoyed my review of what I guess I should call a current state of Star Trek report. Also a Picard mini review. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time at the video store. Cinema Kane here again, reminding you to please like and subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, please share it on all your social media platforms. And I'll see you next time at the video store.